Salt-N-Pepa may be here, but where was Spinderella's personality? Let's discuss. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. Got a bug stuck in my throat. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. I don't really have much to talk about, so today I want to come on and discuss the Salt-N-Pepa biopic that displayed on Lifetime this past Sunday. For the most part, the movie, it was... it was cool for what it was. If you're a Salt-N-Pepa, like a diehard Salt-N-Pepa fan, I don't feel like you really learned anything extra. Me, someone who was a 90s kid and a 90s baby, well, a 90s baby and a 90s kid, but somebody who kind of grew up in the 90s, like, I had, like, minimal knowledge of who Salt-N-Pepa were up until, I want to say, the 2000s. I didn't really... Like, back in the day, like, I would hear my mom, like, jam some of their music on there. Like, the None of Your Business song, that was the main song that I knew growing up as a kid. But I didn't really know much about Salt-N-Pepa up until Peppa was on The Surreal Life on VH1. If you don't know what The Surreal Life is, that's like a reality show where you take all these, like, these has-been celebrities, as the brat likes to say. You take all of them and you put them into one house and you just see what happens. Like, it was a golden show on VH1. But anyways, Salt-N-Pepa, as you know, are a dynamic rap duo. They were very talented. I believe, in my opinion, I think they were like the first like female rappers to incorporate dance into their rap set. And I like the new girls today are actually bringing that back. A la, you see Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion both dancing. But... And a little fun fact about me before I start this video, I will say that I am an avid fan of any female that is out there trying to get it in music. I also personally feel like the female rappers today are better than the men. You know, if you want to get down in the comments, I'll gladly debate you. But I feel like female rappers have to try a little bit harder than male rappers. Like, they have to go the extra mile. Most of these male rappers out today are kind of like almost... Yeah, their flow is different, but, you know, their style and how they look is kind of like a carbon cut and paste from the next rapper or a rapper from the previous generation. In actuality, like, these female rappers have to come up. They have to be their own. They have to establish their own personality. They have to have charisma. They have to have stage presence. They have to have their own little gimmick, their own little saying going on, like period, for example. Like, they have to do the extra in order to be not put inside a box. And I feel like female rappers today are more talented than men. Shoot me if you want. Starting off with this video, I would like to talk about the casting. Now, I'm not going to go all the way in because I will be an actor one day and I don't want anybody to go in on me. But, you know, I'm going to just keep it all the way real. Like, the casting, Salt-N-Pepa, I thought that was good. Spinderella, we're going to get into her a little bit later. But... The bad casting that really stood out to me in this movie was Martin Lawrence. Now, I know Martin Lawrence like made a cameo appearance, but I was just like, who? I was literally like, who is that? That's supposed to be Martin? Like, Martin from fucking The Martin Show Martin? Like, that is not... Look, I'm all in for everybody getting out there and making a coin. And he happened to be the one person to show up that day of the casting call, and they were like, you know what, yep, that's the one. But y'all couldn't find a skinny nigga with big ears that even looked like Martin. Like, that wasn't, like, Martin back in the day wasn't even, like, a husky dude like that man was. Like, am I tripping? Because Martin in this biopic was husky, and the Martin in real life back in the day was a skinny nigga. But, okay. Another thing with the casting I also liked was the fact that Salt-N-Pepa had their actual daughters playing them whenever... That one scene where they had two girls being their doppelgangers because they didn't really have their brand together. They didn't really have, like, a trademark. Nobody knew who they were. They only knew them through the radio. So what was his name? The pimp named Slickback, whatever, the guy that was trying to manage them at first, he went ahead and he took pictures of them because nobody knew who they were at the time. Like, nobody knew what they looked like. But he took pictures of them, and then he passed two other girls off that somewhat looked like them to play them. And I thought it was nice for them to incorporate their daughters in there. But if you guys have watched Growing Up Hip Hop, her daughter... her daughter is just the most, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now, one of the main points that I want to talk about is DJ Spinderella, or like the lack of her presence. Like, she was there, but she wasn't really there on some Rashida shit. Now, one thing that was always confusing to me growing up about Salt-N-Pepa was I didn't know if there was 2 members in there or 3. And now, at this point, I don't think they even know to this day, because they treat Spinderella like just crap. Like, they treat her so badly. Like, now I will say it was nice that they had her in this movie, but Spinderella's character had no personality or input on the group. Now, before I jump ahead, Spinderella, there was a first Spinderella in the group, and she was mainly brought in through their manager, who was at the time Salt's boyfriend. But I low-key think that they got rid of the first Spinderella because the manager was messing around with her on Salt. Salt was jealous of her. She was jealous of the time that Spinderella and what was his name? Herbie Fully Loaded? Whatever. She was jealous of the time that they were spending together. And then one day Spinderella showed up to rehearsals like an hour late, and Herbie basically dismissed her because she showed that she's just not really invested in being a part of the group. So they later on found this other girl who was like this 16-year-old, and she became the new Spinderella, which is like the main Spinderella that we know today, the one that kind of was on the whole entire ride of their career. And if you watched Salt-N-Pepa's reality show, I forgot what channel it was on like a few years ago, I think last year actually. I didn't really watch it, but I like kept up with it through like other YouTubers talking about it. But the main thing about Salt-N-Pepa, they always treated her like a second-class citizen in the group. Like, they think that she, being a DJ, was something that was just, like, frivolous, when really she's the most important part of y'all's set. She even, from what I remember, Spinderella even, like, rapped on one of their songs before. And then on top of that, she did choreography with them. So she was the third member. But, you know, I think it all boils down to money and the fact that, like we already have to take a big cut of this money and give it to our manager, which they ended up fighting a legal battle over and won at the end. But they were giving a huge percentage to their management team, and then also they had to split the money 3 ways. But of course, they didn't discuss this in the movie, but I know for a fact that Spinderella got the least amount of money out of them 3. And I think it's like them 2 girls were always just like, we are the ones writing the songs and doing what we need to do, so we're going to get a larger cut than you. And then Spinderella, her being really young at the time, like young, like fresh out of high school, like, yeah, I'm going on a tangent, but like, let's talk about, back in the day was really the Wild Wild West, y'all. Like, Spinderella was in the club dancing around and going to like these adult industry parties at the age of 16, 17. Girl probably still had braces, probably still were in a training bra, like, like, the lack of parenting back in the day is actually very alarming. I mean, even back in the day when we were kids, our parents left us at home by ourselves. Like, it was nothing but God and the angels and our ancestors protecting us, because... And I had a crazy older brother, too. Like, he used to chase me around the house with knives and shit. So, but anyways, I got off topic, but... It's just alarming at the fact that Spinderella was, to this day, still treated like shit. And also, I think they didn't really have her character have much input. Like, I think they didn't have Spinderella do much input on the movie because she is currently going through a legal battle with them too over some more money. I think it was like misplaced royalties that, low-key, I think it was money that was owed to Spinderella, but Salt-N-Pepa like held that for themselves, and Spinderella went over the books with her accountant and probably dig way back into the 80s and realized, damn, these girls were shorting me out of this much money. So that's what I think that's what the whole entire lawsuit's about. But anyways, I just think it's a disservice at the way that they treated Spinderella. Like, I don't know if it's due to jealousy or if it's just due to, we want to split this money 2 ways, not 3. Like, I think that's what it is. They wanted to pay Spinderella in exposure. That's probably what it is. One thing I didn't know about Salt, I didn't know that she had an eating disorder. Now, unlike today, like, a lot of women don't have eating disorders because, keep it real, the main person that people models their bodies after is Kim Kardashian, who is a curvy girl who got a lot of surgery done to be curvier and slim at the same time. But, you know, the days of being thin were mainly like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where you have like Marilyn Monroe, Anna Nicole, and Paris Hilton as the archetype of the mainstream body that everybody wanted to look like. But now that it's curvier, you see these eating disorders kind of going to the wayside because everybody wants to be quote unquote thick these days. Like, if you were thick back in the day, 9 times out of 10, you got made fun of, but today you're now praised. So congratulations, but that's just the way society moves. But yeah, Salt, like she was like impulsively bulimic. Like I didn't like, it's like every time that she was stressed, she would just go on like this big binging and purging spree. And it didn't show that she even got any type of like help for her issues with that. So I hope that she's not going through those same issues today, especially when everybody loves to eat today. Also, the fact that Peppa, she at one point almost started to cut herself. And this mainly happened towards the end whenever she was facing a divorce from Tretch. Girl, that was nothing but divine intervention anyways. Like, you did not need to be with him. And judging by on Growing Up Hip Hop today, Tretch still somewhat acts the same. Like, the dude has not changed whatsoever. So, and y'all, I didn't know Peppa was as, like, ratchet as she is up until, I want to say, like, watching Growing Up Hip Hop. Because even on that VH1 reality show, she wasn't as, like, rambunctious and over the top as she was. Like, I don't know if it's because she was in a house full of white people or if it was because, I don't know what it was, but Peppa was never really, to me, like this rambunctious person. But that's probably just me being young and like only growing up in the 90s and knowing her from what I saw in the 2000s. But Peppa and Tretch's relationship, it was not good. Like, that was like one of the main issues with him. Like, he would just get mad at her for no reason. I don't know if it was because of jealousy. Like, maybe at one point, like, let me know in the comments, like, did his career kind of fall to the wayside when Salt-N-Pepa were kind of at the peak? Like, is that what happened? And that's why he was kind of like, it didn't show him being physically abusive, but he was like verbally and emotionally abusive. So, I mean, we don't know if he hit her or not, but like, he gave me a hit me tease. Like, he gave me like, just toxic masculinity. Like, that's really what it was. And towards the end, like, Salt kind of left the group because mainly, for one, she had turned her life over to Christ. And then, you know, when they performed at the Essence Video Music Awards, I think it was like the Essence Honors. I don't remember. But when they performed None of Your Business at that award show, she was embarrassed because, for one, she was already against that song because the two of them were mothers now, and they're basically like rapping about hoeing. But it really solidified when she performed at that Essence event. Like, what is the name of that one lady? She had the big forehead with the dreads, the editor-in-chief of Essence magazine. Like, I wonder, I haven't seen much from her in a while. Like, is she still with us? Well, it solidified when she performed that song in front of that crowd at Essence and nobody was feeling them because it was supposed to be a classy event. But also at the fact that Peppa's attitude and her party lifestyle just was not meshing with her. You know, when you get older, like, your personality changes. And from judging from what Peppa, the way she acts today, like mentally, Peppa never really grew up, to be honest. And Salt did. And sometimes you just outgrow your best friend, and sometimes you guys gotta find your separate way. But, you know, as you know, they ended up getting back together because the movie ended with them basically like the way it began. Like, the movie ended with them performing at the VH1 Honors and them two reconciling, also with Spinderella there as well. I don't remember. I didn't watch the VH1 Honors when they performed, so I don't even remember if Spinderella was there or not, but I hope she was. But regardless, overall, the movie, I give it a good out of 10, I give it about like a 6.5, borderline a 7-ish. Like, it wasn't bad, but it just felt a little rushed. And I understand, like, it needs to be an hour-long movie, but I just felt like the transitions weren't really even. Like, I couldn't tell what age they were. Like, it just floated, like it didn't flow well. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it just flew in from one part of their life to the next out of nowhere with no type of warning or mention of, like, what was going on. Like, we kind of had to piece the scenes together, if that makes sense. But that's just constructive criticism because, you know, I'm an avid movie person and I will be in movies one day. But those are my views on the whole entire biopic. It was good. It was good. It was good. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I am going to come at you guys with some more content, so stay tuned.